Hey everyone, welcome to our review of Kamen Rider Saber, episode 11. As always, I'm your host, the Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
the Cinder Blaze.
Marisol.
Welcome back. We got done watching this episode yesterday, but also you guys commented on... A lot of you guys commented on it. For some reason it said 5, but it only came out to 3, so I don't know what that's about. But we're going to talk about that after we dive into our thoughts, and I thought... Saber's getting better. Saber's definitely getting better. My enjoyment is inversely proportional to the amount of toys they decide to sell. This is the graph displayed by my arms.
I feel like
you realize it's like mirrored, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like the graph's backwards. Now you're just doing hand puppets. Oh. Yeah, now you're a ninja. Cool. I agree. I thought this was a pretty solid episode. I'm still not completely sold on Kenta's angstiness. Especially when we reach the point where he saw Princess Shayla and Caliber meeting together, and he's like, "You're working together. This was a conspiracy to set up my dad." I'm like, why are you leaping to that conclusion? All you did was see them talk together. Just because she never leaves your book bunker doesn't mean that she's like conspiring against you.
Yeah, that was really... See, I don't even know if I want to say weird, because it feels like we haven't had enough time with these characters to like understand it too well, but like, I don't know, we got some interesting stuff in terms of like his family, I guess. He has this weird daddy fetish where if you like rub him on the back of the ear, he gets turned on. So we're unlocking quite a few things with him.
Yeah, personally, I feel like that made some sense, because I know like his angst has been just like a little bit like overboard. For me, it was more like his interactions with like Blue that was like pushing it a bit too far. It's like, yeah, I know you're angsty, but like, why are you taking it out on Blue? Like, you haven't known him for like a long ass time. But for that moment when he sees that, oh my god, I forgot her name, but White Dress was meeting with
Princess Shayla.
Is it Caliber? Okay, Princess Shayla was meeting with Caliber, right?
Yeah.
Like, he saw like last episode that wasn't his father, and he just like, hold up, like he was kind of like framing all this in his head that, oh, his father betrayed him, I'm gonna ask why. And when he sees that someone else is in his father's suit, like that's probably traumatic for like him. He just like, wait a minute, like, who's responsible for all this, especially because it's like the former Saber who's the new Caliber. It kind of casts some doubt into like the organization as a whole, you know, like there's got to be like some evil like kind of sewn in there. That's kind of why that, you know, he is Caliber in the first place, because he betrayed the father in some regard. So if he betrayed him and he was supposed to be like that noble person from that last generation, I mean, it's a bit more reasonable that Princess Shayla could also be in on it as well. So when he kind of like sees it there, it kind of just like, he was probably like thinking about all these things in his head, and like this probably just solidified one of the theories he had, and he just kind of like went with it. And he's already kind of pissed off in the first place. So for him, kind of like bolt in there. I mean, like, because we know everything, it was like a bit, you know, it felt a bit rash. But for him, I felt like that was totally deserved. I think it was just like the stuff leading up to it was probably a bit weaker. So I was already kind of like hating that part of his character, but it worked in that scene, but just not in the rest of the episode, I feel.
I'm still sort of processing the idea of that. But
I'll admit, the only thing I was thinking was how, you know, the whole eating sand and daddy fetish thing really makes up for this character's angst. I think I might like him.
God, the whole time.
He was so close. He was like in suit while he was like on that pile of sand. but like everywhere else is just like too wet for him to eat, which would be really like unfortunate. I feel like that's one of the reasons he lost this battle. Because if it was just like dry sand everywhere, you know
right,
that's
yeah.
okay. He's lost in like a desert before, so I guess I can't really say that.
Man, I feel like this this whole eating sand thing has both enriched and ruined the show for me. And I'm very happy for it because that is like some of the most enjoyment I get out of the show. Because the show is fine-ish. Like we had pretty good balance as well this episode in terms of like, all right, we know Saber needs to like do like have this form for this episode. We'll actually sideline him for a bit. We'll we won't take away too much from the story itself. And I feel like the same sort of situation happened with Arthur. The only reason it felt like we were starved with like the actual plot of the episode in favor of Arthur because like there was too much story there to tell earlier. But here it's a good amount of story and they paced it well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt like putting Saber in the B plot with like, the others being scattered throughout the city dealing with the issues there helped to set up what's coming next week.
Right.
Instead of just being like, okay, we gotta get rid of these characters for a little while, let's make Rintaro and
Espada.
No, the other girl. I'm thinking of like a few weeks back when we had them like running around the city in the back alleys for some reason, and then that just never built to anything.
They somehow made it to a forest and were like, oh shoot, now I have plot to do.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. But yeah, like them setting up next week's episode is probably a bit surprising because usually like they don't like having a lot of connective tissue between the episodes. It's just kind of like, well, we're just jam packing as much as possible for a certain toy, and then boom, off to the next one, and it's just like a breakneck speed. But now that
I feel like the turbulence of the earlier episodes is sort of like shaken off now a little bit, just because like we can slow down in terms of toy releases, and like whatever mandates are going on aren't going to affect the show until more toys start happening.
Yeah, it's like they want to calm down, actually hit some character beats. It's just like, FYI, Espada actually hates Blade, like with a passion.
One of the more positive things for me this episode was with Slash when he shouts while they were arguing, and I was like, God damn it, another angst thing. I don't need another one. And then he just went, I hate it when you fight, and then leaves. Oh, thank God. A sigh of relief.
Yeah, I felt like I like moments like that, especially for like May's character. Like, there's so many like serious things happening, and for it just kind of like play around, like just at the guild itself, just kind of like it was a nice little break from all the tension between the scenes.
And it's not annoying either, which is surprising to me because like it's hitting all those beats of something that should be annoying, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know how to expand on that.
Sorry,
I didn't have anything to say.
Something I wanted to mention too is I really like how this episode was shot. Some of the shots were actually really cool, like the transformations where Kenzan like put his sword towards the screen and then pulled it back and he was transformed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or when we saw the Saber's sword on fire as he's like transforming, but it didn't cut to the CGI transformation. He's doing it right there. But also like the shot of Rintaro getting slashed and spitting out blood was good too. Like I thought this was like really effective for this episode.
They certainly have someone in here who's like this felt like, ooh, we're setting up for a bit more of a dramatic and meaningful episode, because before we went into the opening, there was this artsy shot where, you know, they were on the balcony or like the roof or whatever. He walks away, and once the conversation's over, you have this shot of Saber like being boxed in by the railing, like just framed, boxed in by the railing. And maybe, you know, it might symbolize that he feels isolated now or something, and he didn't really like hang out with any of them this episode. Like of the trio, he didn't really hang out with Espada and Blades, so
yeah,
it means that he felt left out, and they were putting him away for the episode. I don't know, but it was artsy, and I'm sure there's meaning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just him being busy, you know, with the subplot. I don't really think it's something like that, just because Espada and Saber get along pretty well. If Espada keeps up like that whole like hiding the backstory thing, who knows what kind of tension that'll create.
I mean, it is continually caused friction for the two of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that, as far as I can remember, the series hasn't set up a reason why he would hide it. Like, we don't really have any sort of reason as to, like, would this hurt him somehow? Is Espada trying to protect him? He's already, like, wrapped up in this stuff. Might as well fill him in on some things.
Oh, right, because he was saying ignorance is bliss and whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Espada seems pretty ignorant about all the stuff happening with Caliber and his father and old Saber, and he's definitely not in bliss. So I have no idea what he's even, you know, talking about.
I mean, there could be some other unforeseen thing here, but to me, in the episode itself, it just read like angst for the sake of angst, just because he is just going through it. And it felt a bit unnecessary. Like, that line specifically of, you know, ignorance is bliss felt a little unnecessary.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, yo, the villains are pretty cool this episode. Like, all... Okay, and I won't say all of them, because I still hate our monster villains. But the goblin fodder looked really nice.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you're complimenting the villains at all, because every episode you have to point out the weird stroking of the book thing.
Oh, there's that. And this episode, we see him, you know, ordering that mob of goblins, and he's wearing like the tightest leather pants, and I felt very uncomfortable. I just thought I would point that out as well.
Yeah, his frilly leather chaps really don't go with his child-sized leather jacket.
Also, did anyone
the turtleneck?
Did anyone go back to take a look at Saber's wardrobe this episode? Because I don't remember it at all being like anything egregious. So maybe that's a plus.
Nah.
No. I'll give Saber this. His clothes are dumb, but he changes his clothes more often than any other Kamen Rider I've seen.
That's true.
Yeah.
I
mean, he's got like a weird bib, but like it's so dark that you can't even notice it. Also, his hat's kind of dumb.
Hold on. A bib?
Yeah, I mean, like I can barely see it because he's moving around a lot. And like the camera's really not like letting us see. Maybe in like an earlier scene, if I like skip towards it. No, he's wearing a giant coat. So they're doing a good job of hiding what he's actually wearing, which is something I never really expected them to do.
I want to imagine that like the actor shows up on set and was like, "I'm gonna be doing my own wardrobe for this show. I really like the look of this. Oh God, what are you wearing?" And then in this one, they were just like, "All right. We got you this jacket."
You know, I think like May and Saber just kind of like walk in with whatever they wanted to like wear and like do the hair however they want to do it for that episode. They just kind of like roll
just
with
like
it.
how Saber decided on the day that they were filming the ending dance to show up in a child's raincoat.
It was raining, but not that much.
Right.
Like a child's amount of rain.
All right. Do we have anything else before we hop on into the comments?
The only other thing I was going to say is that I like that we got a little backstory with Rintaro.
Yeah.
Like finding out that he was an orphan and raised by the guild. It wasn't a lot, but it's nice. I dig it. I like that he's not the super angsty secondary that we tend to get, or one that's like butting heads with everybody.
Yeah.
Or really seemingly even like a special case, like with Saber and maybe Espada, where it's like, oh, they're
the chosen ones.
Dad, yeah, that kind of thing. Rintaro's just like, I don't have parents. I was just abandoned and left here.
Yeah.
And that's why I like everybody, because it's the only family I have. Which I think is nice motivation for the character.
Absolutely. And like, you did get a very nice character beat with him. It could have just been like, straight laced by the book character, but you saw that getting worn down when he saw Espada was in danger, and he went to go save him. So that was really good.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like more of him like being by the book. It's just like I felt more like genuine concern for him, like as a family member, as opposed to just like, well, these are the rules for the guild. It's like he's just trying to like guide him to like the right path, like.
Yeah, in his own extremely dorky sort of way.
He's a nerd in a
I mean, he was raised in a library. Like, what do you expect?
The dude plays with books for a living. All right, comments?
Yeah. Sure.
All right.
Sure.
First comment comes from Extra, who says, so what I think must have happened in this episode is that Celebro took over the director's body in the beginning of... Oh, wait, no. This is...
Surprise.
These are the Orb comment, or the Ultraman comment.
Zed? Orbs?
No.
You're way
I'm
behind.
way off. Hold on. I got the real comments.
Yo, we haven't done Orb in years.
Hold on. Saber. Bam. Boom. Rajik Rasul says, way to go, Espada. Way to go. You sand lover. Emo. Sulking daddy's boy.
Daddy's boy.
Yeah. You let best boy take the hit for you. What you did was a suicide out there. You fought a guy who was way more experienced than you. I hope you're happy for it. You need some self-reflecting to do. You guys heard Caliber Henshin. Jingle was some of the words. You make might a just no matter dark joke. I mean, really? Dark joke? Only a narcissist, handsome scientist would think like that. But this is the big bad we're talking about? I like his super suit, but the true Dragon Rider is Cross Magma. His henshin sequence was the best.
That is true. Actually, I feel like Omagio's is probably like a little bit better.
I will say, that's not a typo. What he typed out there, as far as what the henshin jingle said, is legit. I went back today and watched it because you guys were laughing over it, and I don't blame you. It's kind of silly. It genuinely says, you make might adjust. No matter dark joke.
Yeah, just like the non sequitur at the end. It's dark joke.
Yeah, and this is after it does like the screamy, like, oh, it's so edgy.
I've got a children's pop-up book. Dark joke.
Joke.
But also, his dumbass finisher was like, he slashed or whatever, right? And then you had like four or five like tiny little gold dragons show up, and then you had one big one, and it was so strange. Yeah,
I love the suit, but
good
yeah,
suit, bad
the
sound.
transformation was definitely something else.
All right. Next comment comes from Ryuguno, who says, a decent episode to me. I really liked what we got with Rintaro, and I totally understand Kento's frustration with Caliber not giving him straight answers. And when he saw Sophia and Caliber together, I was like, oh boy, misunderstandings, yay! Zhao Dragon is really cool. I love the metal voice and that the jingle has, even though the rest of it makes no sense. Definitely got someone who doesn't understands English for that jingle. But now I can fully question Tassel's loyalty because he talked to someone, albeit by phone, but that still counts as an interaction. Other than that, I hope the previous Caliber isn't actually dead, otherwise that's a complete waste of that actor, but we're going to have to wait and see. Again, a decent episode. I know a lot of people aren't too keen on Saber, but I like it for what it is so far. If it stays down this path of meh throughout the whole show, then I might have some problems, but I'm having fun with what I see so far.
Yeah.
So
Like-
about the tassel thing. He did also answer the door at the end of the episode. He might have gotten a package from DHL. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he does actually show up, or if he just ordered Postmates or something. Like, do they deliver there?
That'd be really good if he just walks back in screen at the start of the next episode with some food.
Yeah.
He just starts eating during the intro.
He has sand. He has a bowl full of sand. Boku Tatsu.
Oh man. You know, okay, so I went back and rewatched the jingle. I think like the second was just like jump out the book. That's exactly where I think we lost it. And I completely like didn't even hear the dark joke bit. Like I was just like completely out of it at that point.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So thank you for the comment. Let's move on to the last comment from Andy L, who says, Rintaro. Oh, that's my cue. Although I didn't do shit in the fight, but I can tank. Kento, why you tanked it for me? Rintaro, because we don't have enough CG budget while my suit actor was already on set. Kento, but you know your Fantasista has the hook power to pull me away, right? Rintaro, I'm going to faint for the fake out and drama. Kento, no! Caliber. Killing 2 main cast in one episode is too much. I'm gonna walk away now. Bye. Thank you, Andy L, for your brilliant
Synopsis.
roleplay with yourself in our comment section. By the way, I don't know why, but the Caliber... Wait, hold on. By the way, don't know why, but the way Caliber keeps saying he wanted the truth, which gives me a strong vibe, it means the girl got sucked away and her real / surname is Mari / Truth, something like that. Oh, so you think he's asking for a person and not the truth, just by way of how he says it.
No, I think he's just referring to the plot that nobody really knows yet.
It would be a very weird, like, reveal, I guess? Like, what would be the point of that being the reveal? Oh, he didn't want the truth the whole time. It was a person.
Okay, that's definitely a post-series movie plot. It's like, I am actually the real truth. Yeah, I have doubts about that theory, but who knows? This show can't surprise us.
Not in the best ways, but yeah, certain things are a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Guys, thank you so much for leaving your comments. Did we have anything else for this episode?
No.
No.
All right, cool. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. This is yet another episode where we went well over the runtime of the actual episode and just fucked around for 25 minutes. Yeah. Also, while you're down in there doing the commenting stuff, there's also a description that has a bunch of links to how you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement by donating money, signing petitions, and watching videos, because there's a playlist down in the description and at the end card that has a bunch of videos that donate their ad revenue to the Black Lives Matter movement. So go ahead and check that out if you feel like it. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it.
Yep. See ya.
Yep. Bye.
Okay, so I have another issue with the episode. Why did Caliber set up that meeting underneath this wet-ass bridge? He's wearing a nice-ass suit. Like, what the hell? And then freaking Princess Shayla's like freaking wearing, like, you know, the whitest dress.